Under our sixth caution after hard contact for Blake Cook in the number 81. And let's reset it for you because the front runners all stayed out. Elliott Sadler, his pit crew for that number 2, in the last 2 rounds of stops, picked him up 10 positions in pit road. Now, behind or alongside of him on the restart will be his teammate David Mayhew, who's done a stellar job in his debut. And look what's gonna be in row number 2. Let's take you back a few laps ago, as this was Ricky Stenhouse and Carl Edwards going after each other.
Ricky drives deep in the corner, makes the pass, but carries too much speed in the corner, allows the car to slide up. Carl's close enough to make him loose, does the crossover, comes off the corner, and just runs out of room.
Yeah.
He was really hard in the gas, is why he ran out of room.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky smokes in there. Now, Ricky's loose now. I mean, he slid right up in front of Carl, so, you know, it's not like Carl made him loose. And then Ricky was still gathering it up when they got together. I mean, I didn't see where Carl really did a lot there.
All right, let's listen in on Ricky's radio.
Now remember here, you got the best car. Your lap times are better than anybody out there. I don't want you focused on anything but getting out lead and checking out.
Now, that's a team trying to keep a 23-year-old focused on the ball.
Yeah, well, I think if you're a member of Ricky Stenhouse's team, you love what he said. You know, he's frustrated. He didn't like what Carl did. I can't say that I blame him. He's got a donut in his door, but regain your composure, focus on the big picture like Mike Kelly told him, and I think he's in a great position here.
Let's check in with Jim Noble.
Remember a week ago in Indianapolis when Carl and Ricky got together, Carl walked over to Ricky when we were about to interview Ricky post-race, expecting some sort of apology from Stenhouse, and none was forthcoming. So when Carl pulled a similar move here tonight on Ricky, I was in the number 60 pit, and there were big smiles all around on the crew members of Carl Edwards.
I didn't know you could be mad now just because you get a donut. Boy, somebody get you to turn around upside down before. That's what you had to do, get mad a long time ago.
Took a lot to get us mad,
Yeah, it took a lot, but now he bumped me.
That's great stuff by Jim Noble. That's interesting that, you know, this goes back a few weeks. And
take a look at the 1-2 finishes this season with Roush Fenway Racing. And it was Iowa here where Ricky got the better of Carl. Carl got the better of Ricky at Michigan and Nashville in July. They're running 3rd and 4th right now. Lights are out on the pace car, so let's reset it for you. We've got a total of 18 cars on the lead lap. It's Elliott Sadler up front with his teammate from KHI, David Mayhew, just doing a marvelous job.
Yes, he is.
And then in row number 2, we've already talked about those two guys, so let's move on to row number 3. There's Josh Wise and Eric Almirola line up side by side. Here is your man leading the dash for cash, Reed Sorensen, as he's alongside Stephen Wallace. Kenny Wallace and Brian Scott round out your top 10. And the lineup is not correct. NASCAR is going to hold it, and the lights are back on.
And, you know, this is an interesting set of restart. You got the front 3 rows are teammates. So the opportunity to make somebody in your camp mad exists. Now, we talked about Stenhouse and Edwards. We've read chapters 2 and 3. We're about to read chapter 4, I think.
All right, lights are out. Let's get a quick update from pit road. How about it, Rick DeBrule?
Let's start off by talking about the tire strategy for the front row. The last time Elliott Sadler came in, who's leading the race, he only took 2 tires. His teammate, David Mayhew, right beside him, took 4 tires. They have been on the radio constantly making it a point to remind David Mayhew that Reed only took 2, that their tires are going to be better. If he can take the lead, they think they can run away with this.
Keep in mind, David Mayhew has looked the best over the bump in turn 1 and 2. If Mayhew can get a good jump and clear Elliott off of turn 2, he's going to be in great shape.
We've heard the 6 radio. We've got something on the 60.
Carl, this is Jack. Are you doing okay? I'm good, Jack. I'm good. I'm good. I say we're even. We're fine.
There you have it.
No, we're going to find out what happens. Pace cars pulled off. Fans here at Iowa Speedway. Look at them on their feet. Green flag in the air.
It's an outstanding start. Carl Edwards is really capitalizing. Sticks to the bumper of Elliott. Gets a little wiggly and turns a little loose in turn 1 and 2.
And look at Stenhouse shootout. He's going to try and make a run underneath on the 33. And oh, here we go. Side by side with the 60. Oh, Mayhew gets a little nudge from behind. Runs him up towards the wall.
That was quite the move for Ricky's
That
part
was,
there.
that was a spontaneous move, and that's typical of a young driver. That was impressive.
The top three are trying to check out on the rest of the field. Down the backstretch, side by side. Stenhouse down low.
Stenhouse driving deep in the corner here.
Stenhouse and Carl can't even see that two car right now. They're just thinking about each other.
Yeah, that can lead you into trouble, can't
Oh,
it?
that can lead you into trouble.
Yeah, you got to get over this. I think that Carl knows if Ricky clears him, he's gone. Carl's driving really, really hard.
Well, and Stenhouse is now cleared, and now he's going down the back straightaway. And here comes a little more contact. And Sadler gets out of the way. He may lose a spot to Josh Wise.
This is an interesting battle.
You'd never know these guys were teammates.
Well, yeah, I was surprised to hear the comment by Carl Edwards. This obviously goes back to last week, and what we saw off turn 4 earlier in the race was a little bit of payback, a little bit of, all right, whatever you give me, I'm going to give you back.
Well, they are back out in front, and Stenhouse is the man at point. They pulled about 0.3 of a second on third place Elliott Sadler and Josh Wise.
Yeah, you got to think back to this race in the spring where Ricky Stenhouse won the race. Carl congratulated him, and then Carl said, you know, if he calms down and relaxes, he's going to win a bunch of races. But I think Carl felt like he used him up a little bit in the spring race.
Right now, Carl can't get back to him.
Now Ricky looks like he's getting away a little bit, or just enough faster that Carl can't get to him.
Well, the last two laps.
0.06 of a second, that lap.
Yeah, but the last two laps, it's been Stenhouse just that tick quicker. Let's check back a little farther. Now we go side by side. There's the 11 of Brian Scott. He's going around the 51. Now that's Jeremy Clements. That's a battle for 13th in that 51. He's got a good run going for that limited budget team. Michael McDowell got back on the lead lap. He's side by side with Wimmer. That's all for position. Jim, what are you hearing?
Hey, give Michael McDowell and Jason Ratcliffe points for perseverance. This went exactly to plan. They got the wave around a couple of stops ago. They put a set of scuffed tires on, and that's really helped the 18 come to life. Then they said, let's just ride around. Chances are we'll get the lucky dog, and then we can go. That's exactly what has happened.
Well, he's right now closing on Jeremy Clements. Clements doing all he can to hold on to that spot. The 26-year-old from Spartanburg, South Carolina. His best finish this year has been 14th. And guess where that was? Back here in May at Iowa. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold on to that spot, though, right now as he surrenders to the 18. So move McDowell into 13th, Clements in 14th.
Still a good run for Clements.
It is.
Right there. A real good run. That car out of South Carolina.
This battle continues as now Brian Scott pulls up on the back of the 51. We saw Wimmer when he had a good run. He was up inside the top 10. Then the car got loose on him, ran up the track. He's brought it back under control, doing a nice job. Not missing anything up front. We'll tell you that Stenhouse has opened up a 0.6 of a second lead.
We're seeing Carl Edwards empty the tank. We're seeing the best out of Carl Edwards. Kenny Wallace is having another good run, closing in on Reed Sorensen.
Yep, and let's talk about that Reed Sorensen in that 32. That blue spoiler, he is the front runner for the Dash for Cash. Rick, what are you hearing on the 32 camp?
Well, during that last yellow flag, he came on the radio and said, are our tires going to go the distance? The last time they pitted, all they took was fuel. Reed wasn't too sure, but the crew chief came on and said, we can do it. We know we can. Get out there and race, and that's exactly what's going on. Well, there's got to be that little thing in the back of Reed Sorensen's head going, I think I can.
Well, Sorensen is running 6th. The other two that are in contention tonight, Annette is 11th, Leffler is 12th, and they are about 4 seconds behind him. So with only 13 laps to go, he's just got to keep all 4 tires underneath him.
Yeah, Sorensen's done a great job, but Leffler deserves some credit for rallying back from that green flag stop. You can see we're riding with Stephen Wallace here. He's closed in on the back of Uncle Kenny. He's going to battle here for 7th.
He's going to get right up on Uncle Kenny and try to make it exciting, and they're both chasing Reed, so there's potential for 2 more spots there.
We were talking about Michael Annette as he is now in the 11th spot, as he has got a battle with McDowell going, and there's McDowell in the 18. So
I think Michael's fast enough to catch the 4 cars in front of him, catch and pass them.
boy, and he pulls away, just pulls him going down that backstretch.
Well, we saw 2 cars up there, the yellow car, 2 cars up in front of Michael, David Mayhew, who's dropped back to 9th after that last restart. Had a little wiggle up off there, off 4 or off 2 or 4 on that initial first lap after the restart, and they were going by him everywhere.
A little wiggle, I think, was a product of Ricky Stenhouse driving 3 wide underneath him.
Yes.
I think caught him by surprise.
Yeah. It was welcome to the Nationwide Series.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we're getting ready to pay, and we're going to go here right here at the last 30 laps.
Well, there is the man trying to track down Edwards and Stenhouse, the 2 of Elliott Sadler, followed by Wise and Almirola. That's your top 5. And there you see Drew Herring as he is running in the 10th spot.
All 3 of those cars, what a good run. Almirola, another top 5, if he can pull it off. The 7-car Weiss, career best, I believe. And what a rebound from Elliott.
Well, and it would be, remember this, it's the winner of the Dash for Cash plus the 3 best finishers tonight. And right now that would be Stenhouse, Sadler, and Josh Wise.
That's a chance for $100 grand in Richmond. So that's a great point, Marty. We had talked a lot about that.
All right, let's drop back to the battle for 10th. We got Drew Herring with McDowell and Mayhew right in front of them, as well as Mayhew's trying to hang on to that 9th spot. Let's get an update on the 20 car. Shannon?
Well, I spoke with Drew Herring before the race started. He qualified 5th. It was a career best. He was really excited about getting in this car. It's his last race with Joe Gibbs Racing. He's done the last 3. He told me, I just hope that I could finish as well as I qualified. And guys, I would say he's definitely done that tonight. A great run for this guy.
Well, he told me, he said, my #1 goal is don't tear up any sheet metal. We've been very successful in that. Second thing is, I know this is a car capable of a top 5. That's my ultimate goal. Other than that, if I can stay in the top 10, do what I need to do, it'll be okay.
Marty, here comes Carl Edwards.
Yeah, let's check back in on the race lead because it is starting to tighten up. Carl has the fastest car on the track right now as he has closed the gap down to a ½ second. It had been wider than that as they go down the backstretch, but the laps are running out. Next time by, 4 to go.
5 laps ago, Ricky Stenhouse had nearly 1 second lead. Carl cut it in half. Let's see if he can continue or if he stalls.
I think he's going to stall.
Carl is using up every bit of racetrack, Kenny. He's moving around. He's doing everything he can. You can see running a little higher line, getting in the corner.
He lost a little bit on that lap. It's 0.6 of a second with 4 to go.
Got some traffic up ahead.
It's a lot harder to be up here and watch than it is looking through the windshield.
Well, the 2 lap vehicles in front are Charles Lewandowski in the 40 and the 14 of Eric McClure. That's McClure that he's getting around right now. So Stenhouse is cleared. Here comes Carl. We're down to 3 laps to go. I don't think Carl has anything for it.
And Carl had to lift off turn 2. He didn't. He caught the 14 in the wrong place.
Just 2 laps remaining. There's Carl right behind. It's now 0.7 of a second. So in the last 2 laps, Stenhouse has actually lengthened the lead.
He might have got a phone call on the radio. Said, hey, we got to go just a little bit faster.
You got to give Ricky Stenhouse a lot of credit. You know, it's not easy to top Carl Edwards at a track, and he's going to do it for the 2nd time at Iowa.
Here we go. 7/8 of a mile to go for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He picked up his first career win here back in May. And all he has to do now is negotiate 2 more corners, and he's going to do it again at Iowa Speedway.
He dominated last week, Marty. Didn't get the win, but it looks as though he's got a little redemption in mind here tonight.
Oh, look out as he has a tire situation. Here comes Edwards right into it. They cross the line, and guess who wins the race? Stenhouse.
Well, thanks to Carl Edwards. Gave him what a
real finish. Sadler comes across the line 3rd, Wise 4th, Almirola 5th, and Reed Sorensen wins the $100 grand in the Dash for Cash. And Ricky wins for the 2nd time, courtesy of a shove from Carl Edwards.
If Carl could have avoided him, he would have won the race, but he had nowhere to go. He couldn't react quick enough. I've never seen anything like it.
I've never have either. Look at what's left of the front end of the Fastenal Ford.
Oh my gosh.
Ricky had a tire going down, which tells you how hard he was driving.
It is official from NASCAR. The 6 car crosses the line first as we saw it. There he is saying, hey, it may not